Greetings from the Asian Productivity Organization, Tokyo. Welcome to the latest APO Productivity Talk. This is Huang from Policy Analysis Unit of the APO. And today, the topic of our discussion will be inclusive productivity engaging the youth. The APO has celebrated its 60 years embarking on the productivity promotion journey. And under the APO Vision 2025, one key word is inclusive, and it emphasizes the nature of productivity growth that the APO is supporting its member countries to pursue in the years ahead. So broadening the outreach and embracing different groups of population into productivity journey, including the youth, it will make productivity more inclusive. And the youth has been the potential and the architects of the futures of every country. And it's estimated that there are 1.8 billion of the young people, representing 1/4 of the world's population. With the unemployment of the youth on the rise, finding the best way to integrate the young generation into the labor force and making them the enabler of inclusive productivity growth is the interest of all the member countries of the APO. In today's P-Talk, we are pleased to have with us Dr. Akira Murata, Associate Professor of Chiba Keizai University of Japan. Thank you, Dr. Murata, for joining us today. Dr. Murata is working at the university in Japan, and his lectures and researches mainly focus on the topic of productivity and economic growth in Asian economies. He also served as the research fellow in the JICA Research Institute, and before that, he also works in the Philippines as the consultant for the World Bank and ADB. And among his topic of research, maybe labor market, skill education, poverty reduction, and inequality among the main interests. So Dr. Murata, with your rich experience in working on the topic of labor productivity and youth employment, and with your daily life interacting with the young generation, can you share with us some insight about what is inclusive productivity and why it is important to engage the youth into this journey of inclusive productivity?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so can I start?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introduction, Fong. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Akira from Japan. So currently I'm engaging in the university at academia. So, but also based on, as Fong mentioned, and also I work for the several institutions as a researcher to tackle with young employment. So today I want to talk about the inclusive productivity, how we can tackle with this issue to engage the more youth into our labor market. So today I hope this will help you to understand some insights to work for engaging the youth in your country in near future. So let's start my presentation. So this is today's topic, which I will discuss. So I will explain one by one. So first, let's look at the labor productivity situation in APO economies. If you go to the APO website, there is a rich database. By clicking the productivity like a data set, we can get the overview picture. So as you can see, like the growth of the labor productivity fluctuate in many APO member economies. But for example, like if you look at India and Vietnam, some countries like India and Vietnam have been keeping the continuous growth of labor productivity over time. So this is a figure from India. And also, this is labor productivity growth, the growth of the labor productivity situation in Vietnam. So as you can see, the growth of the labor productivity in India and Vietnam has kept increasing over time. So as mentioned earlier, today's topic is inclusive productivity. So let's start understanding what the productivity means. Of course, like everybody can easily understand, productivity is a crucial factor. Also, economists also tackle with this issue, how we can increase the productivity to reach the target, like a more higher growth or higher GDP. So the productivity is a crucial factor in the production performance of firms and the nations. So we use labor, including the use as input next we talk about what is inclusive productivity. So we use labor, but labor including the use as an input, and then produce output, which can be more inclusive. So this is a topic we want to talk about. So inclusiveness and the productivity are one of the most important challenges that we must deal with in the global economy, or of course in your economy. So today I would like to share some of my insights, share the analysis I will share in today's presentation. So I want to share the analysis which divide inclusive productivity into two factors. The first, inclusiveness can be identified from the quantity of labor, which includes the youth labor force in today's context. And then the second factor, with regard to the second factor, productivity, this simply can be identified from the quality of labor, which increase through human capital development, for example, skill and also skills training and also education. Then, let's look at the figure and the data sets. So please look at the table and the figure here. So this slide compares the total unemployment rate and youth unemployment rate between APO member countries. So as you can see, Islamic Republic of Iran and Turkey show the higher youth unemployment rates among the APO members. However, if we look at comparing youth unemployment rates with total unemployments, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and India show much higher youth unemployment rates than total ones. Unfortunately, this would show that there are more disadvantaged youth in the labor force in these member countries. There are significant unemployment gaps between the youth and adult unemployment, total unemployment. So this shows the gap means youth unemployment rate divided by total unemployment rate. So if this figure is much bigger, youth might feel more disadvantage in the economy. So next is let's take into account the changing unemployment gaps, this kind of unemployment gap between youth and the total unemployment rate from year 1991 to year 2018. This result shows that the unemployment gaps between youth and the total unemployment have been improving in Japan, and Republic of Korea. A bit advanced economies. Then now we want to talk about one of the factor, like quality gets higher in general. In general, productivity level is higher or gets higher for adults than that for young people. This is just a general trend. So this time, because it's quite difficult to measure the youth productivity, So that's why then this time we assume that the youth labor productivity grows. Youth labor productivity grows as the average total labor productivity increases. So as a country increase the productivity on average, the youth productivity also grow at the same level. So this is just an assumption for my analysis. So the table and figure shows the change in per worker labor productivity from year 1991 to year 2018 in APO members. So, for example, like Singapore or also Malaysia and also Republic of Korea, Japan, these countries shows a higher product per worker labor productivity in 2018. So what today I want to show is we will add the two result from the quantity of youth labor and also quality of youth labor, but there is some assumption. So two factors influence the youth labor productivity, including productivity. So both quantity and quality of youth labor are shown in this slide. So we talk about the quantity of youth labor among in APO member countries, and also quality of labor productivity in APO member country. So I try to show these two measurements in one slide. The horizontal axis denotes the quantity measurement. Then, while a vertical axis. So this figure shows Japan and Republic of Korea. In these two countries, quantity of youth labor situation have been improving over time from year 1991 to year 2018. However, for example, on the left-hand side, for example, the country name is Thailand or Sri Lanka. These countries actually like a quantity of youth labor situation have been worsening. But some countries, if you look at India and Vietnam, quantity of youth labor market or inclusiveness feature might not be improving. However, quality measurement have been dramatically increasing in these countries, in India and Vietnam, as we can see on the earlier slides. So I think like what I want to say, or I want you to understand is we need to understand, we need to look at these two factors to understand or to improve the inclusive labor, inclusive productivity inclusive productivity in in your country. So after showing my analysis, result of my analysis, I want to share some experience. Japan's current attempt to improve the youth employment situation. So if you look at the youth unemployment situation in Japan, youth unemployment rate in Japan decreased from 4.49% in 1991 to 3.58% in 2018, while total unemployment rate actually increased from 2.1% to 2.4% during the same time period. So in Japan, in general, the quantity of youth labor has been improved. However, actually, its labor productivity, quality of labor productivity is very low, it keeps lower than compared to other APO members. It's unfortunate. So if you look at the latest attempt or a policy attempt in March 2000. If you look at the latest figure, labor market figure, in March 2021, this year, the employment rate was 96%. Actually, it declined 2 percentage points from the last year because of the affected by the COVID-19. Among total university graduate, employment rate was 96%. It's quite high. Then male and undergraduate, 95%. And then the female graduate, a bit higher, 97.2%. And among the technical vocational high schools, actually these kept 100% for many years. So I want to share some good practice from each industry, or role of the government and role of private sector and the role of academia like me. So what can be a good practice to share today? As a government, the Japanese government is maintaining, doing their best to maintain the job database and managing unemployment insurance for the affected people, like the unemployment insurance benefit at the government employment service center. It's called in Japanese Hello Work. Then also the government, central government is promoting a job card system now to identify the career and skill. Job card system is all Japanese undergraduate. For example, I also providing the advice to my student. They developed the CV, of course, to apply for the vacant job. And also, but for some people who has a career, they need the job cards. They need to develop a job card like this. Instead of, in addition to the CVs, they need to disclose what kind of career, what kind of skills, what kind of work actually they did in their previous workplaces. This is a job card system. They have to submit to the employers. So this is Japan, what Japan is doing. And also Japanese government is establishing the enrollment system of career consultant, like a coach, like a career consultant. This also, I think, it's kind of, they provide the face-to-face advice. This is very important, I think. And also the government is building the test system to certify job skills. But also this might be the same system can be conducted in many countries, but also to identify the skills, what kind of skills the young people have. So these are the government, what the government is doing. From the private sector is providing the following information. They have to provide recruitment information. Of course, like what kind of job, and then like from when, and where is the work location, or some basic recruitment information. But also they have to the working hours. How long do they need to the employee have to work? And also, currently, like they also have to show the development of the vocational abilities. What from this job or employment experience, what kind of ability can be required, or what kind of like job vocational skills can be developed. So these are the private sector they have to do. Then from academia, like universities and also secondary schools, for secondary school graduate who want to get a job after the graduation. Actually, like I realized that because previously I was working at the JICA as a researcher and also international institution, I couldn't understand what the actual academia does or university staff does to support the young people. Actually, they are doing a lot of work to support the young people now. Also, I'm also doing a lot of effort to make my student to engage into the labor market. For example, I'm checking their CVs and also like train them to make them do perform well in the meeting, in the job meeting. Also, currently, I'm also supporting my ex student, like a graduate, who decided to change their jobs after. So I'm also currently supporting him. So like university staff and including the professor, but some, not all, but I'm doing. But they try to do their best to match the young people with, of course, good employers directly and or via hello work. Also, like I'm currently supporting two disadvantaged student with disabilities. Then actually, like we are frequently communicating with Hello Work, government employment service center. Then like we introduce these displaced people, disadvantaged people directly into the government service center. They help a lot. Then also I want to share some Japan's current job creation project to revitalize the local regional economies. Since 2016, the Japan's government has started helping local government units to create regular job opportunity within their regions. The central government supports the cost of the project for maximum 3 years. So as of August 2021, I checked the current situation, current list of the project. The central government accepted currently 55 job creation projects for these 5 years. So I want to just quickly share 3 examples. First example is related to digital transformation, DX. This is like support for Hyogo Prefecture. It's next to Osaka, Osaka area. Then budget is around 750 million US dollars, around 750 million US dollars. Project period is from this year for next 3 years. The target job creation is like around 873 regular staff they want to from at the end of the day, from this project, they want to produce more than 800 regular staff. So issues is actually the many firms, many Japanese firms in the target area in this prefecture, Hyogo prefecture, have not been utilizing the digital technology. They are not good at using the digital technology. For example, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, like Internet connect many sensors and then they get the big data. They are not good at doing such a to use a modern technology. The project aims to increase the productivity by promoting the digital transformation of these firms, which are not good at utilizing the digital technologies. So with regard to the support of firms, what the government is doing is a digital transformation seminar series, like a professional or a technical expert provide the seminars to train the firms, like a staff from the firms and also employers and the employees. Then also there's the information desk to like kind of the one-stop shop to provide the consultation to the firms. Then also I think what is the most important thing is to coach for firms. So private consultation is provided from technical experts. I think this is the most important thing to make firms to change. Firm to make more inclusive, or to firms to make contribute to inclusive productivity. So the second example is effect of COVID-19 pandemic. So actually, like not only in Japan but also in global society, the COVID-19 pandemic affected many industries. So this is one of the examples can work with this issue. So this area is a Miyazaki prefecture in Kyushu, like southwestern part of Japan. So budget is around 570 million US dollars. The project period is 2021 to 2023. The target of the job creation is around 585 regular staff. So what is the issue the area is facing? So youth population outflow mainly influences population decline in this area, and also getting more difficult. It's getting more difficult to keep the youth staying in that area because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because there is a declining or destroying demand in this area as well. Yeah, because also Osaka area is also significantly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is the government support for firms? First is electronic commerce promotion seminar series. Also, again, the many firms are not good at, but some firms also do well for utilizing the electronic commerce, but not many. So because in the case of Japan, there is many small medium enterprises, so that's they need some help to understand or utilize electronic commerce promotion. So that's the government provides an expert to enlighten some firms to promote electronic commerce. And they also provide a special coordinator for new business establishment, because everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. So, but we need some mentor to get some productive information, or to get the shortcut maybe to establish their businesses. So that's why we need also the coach for new business establishment. The government provides such a coach. They also they provide a private consultation from technical experts. That is definitely for almost all projects. They provide a private consultation to each firm. And also there is a support for job seeker. The matching is needed. Also information is needed for job seeker. And also experience. Some literature said like a volunteer experience might help them to engage in the actual society or actual labor market. But also in this project, job internship is encouraged to avoid mismatch between employer and employee. And also they provide a skill training for IT engineering in this project, because there is a growing demand for these IT engineer workers. So the last one is third example. Last example is a project in Kyoto. Kyoto may be a famous city Kyoto attract many tourists in Japan. Then this project target the manufacturing and tourism industries. So project location is the Kyoto Prefecture, and the budget is $710 million US. A project period is 2020, last year to 2022. The target job creation is around 1,000 regular staff. So issues is there is some issues. In Kyoto, the local government is currently tackling with the human resource transfer without unemployment. Then, actually, the large firm, they don't want to hire more employees. So that's why there is a human resource transfer from large firms to small medium enterprises. Small medium enterprises still need skilled workers. Then also your local government unit in Kyoto try to human resource transfer from non-digital to digital industries. And also the last one is the local government unit to transfer human resources to chronic labor shortage industry, for example, medical and also caring, some in these kind of industry as well. Then what is the government support for firms? Digital transformation and the AI, artificial intelligence literacy seminar series, like other project. And also private consultation, always this is provided from technical expert. In this project, particularly product design. Product design is focused. So that's why government provide a product designer to manufacturing industry, manufacturing firms. And also there is a industry where there is a lack of human resources, like medical and healthcare industries. So the local government want to transfer more young people into these industries with labor shortage. And also the government provides a support for job seekers. Labor demand and supply matching seminar series. There's a detail. There's a mindset seminar, because if we change the career, we don't understand what kind of preparation is needed. So that kind of mindset seminar is provided, and also communication between the employer, future employer, and job seekers. The exchange meeting is frequently conducted, and also digital job training, particularly web production, is seminar is provided. So these are the manufacturing and the tourism industry project in Kyoto. So just I want to summarize what I want to say in today's presentation. So I want to conclude with some policy initiatives. First is the importance of skilling or reskilling. Some young people can acquire high skills of digital technologies. Of course, they can change to be a programmer, or maybe some might be good at analyzing the data set. But many other people cannot do so. So it's quite important first to equip these young people with knowledge of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, the kind of the modern technology, how these modern technology will change the society, particularly digital transformation and artificial intelligence planning can be a common knowledge for which will enter into the labor market in near future. So AI planning might be might be a new word for many people. But AI planning is not. We don't require very high skills for this word, but just to plan the a project or idea or a campaign or some new ideas using the AI technologies. So to plan, I think for young people, many people can be educated to plan what kind of AI can be used to increase the productivity, or what can be the purpose of use this kind of AI to solve the issues in some project. So this is AI planning. So the second policy initiative is developing AI literacy. At the university, I'm currently teaching at the university. The curriculum of AI, artificial intelligence, and data science classes is newly established in Japan here. However, the quality of education might not fully satisfy the industrial needs at this moment in Japan, unfortunately. And also, some professor or teacher are good at dealing with these kind of new technology, but there's many people who are not good at. So I think the teacher first thing to do is to teachers training. This can be required as a priority at the primary to tertiary educational level. This can be a more productivity or effective way to increase the productivity, increase the inclusive productivity, including the young people. So the last one is like today's seminar. I think that this is important to share our knowledge or practice, good practice. Because the speed of the industrial transformation is too fast now. It's amazing. So it requires a space to share the good practices like an online knowledge hub or a library under this kind of COVID-19 pandemic situation. This might be, we can be more productive to share good knowledge or good practices. So for example, today, thanks to the APO, Asian Productive Organizations, staff support, I can share some my idea or also some Japanese experience with people from APO member countries. I think we need to continue to share our knowledge. Then good practice in country A can be utilized to other project in country B. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Murata, for your very informative sharing. And we also thank our viewers for your question posed to Dr. Murata. And would like to encourage you, if you have any comments or question that you want to interact with Dr. Murata, please leave them in the chat box in YouTube channel so that we can convey to Dr. Murata. Meanwhile, we have a first question for you, Dr. Murata. There is a question from Mr. Hazard Hussain from Pakistan. You mentioned about the programs of their local government in Hyogo, Kyoto, and Miyazaki prefectures. And the question is, if the fundings for these programs is from the government or is from their industry generated funds?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hussain from Pakistan.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate your productive comments. So this what I introduced today for the this one, like a job creation project for regional economic revitalization. These are funding is from the Japanese central government. Then this is kind of like a contest, like a local government will try to competing each other to get the funding from the central government. They need to develop the project ideas. Then they submit to the local government. Then each year there is a winner. So did I answer the question?
Yes, it is from the central government of Japan. So in relation to that question, from your presentation also, we see a lot of initiative from the Japanese government. But what is your view in general? What is the role of the private sectors in this journey to engage the youth more into the labor force? And can you also give some example that can be replicated from the good programs of the industry, of the companies that try to engage the youth or provide them with the skill matching or school to work transition programs?
I think, sorry, wait a minute. Yeah, this one. So actually I can now compare because it's the Japanese labor market, not labor market situation, but job matching. Sorry, job matching situation has been changing a lot. I realize that because I'm currently directly supporting the young people. Then I realize that before, for a long time ago, when, for example, I was a university student, there is no opportunity to communicate with private sector, private firms. When before when we start job hunting, but however now, when we look at in the case of Japanese university student, most of them do. I think for example, for now current young people, most of them, 100%, nearly 100%, they do internship, job internship. This is a really dramatic change in the Japanese labor market situation, because I think still in the case of Japan, after for example, young people, after getting a job, around 1/3 of young people change their job in the current Japanese labor market situation. So there is a mismatch. Definitely there is a mismatch. We cannot remove the mismatch completely. However, I think that there is a more frequent communication between young people and Japanese firms. I really feel so, because now my university, it's not a big university. However, we have 1,000 students, and then, but we invite the employers, like a kind of like a job matching seminar. We conduct that at the university every year. Then they are willing to come to our universities. Then, like young people have easily communicate, have an opportunity to directly communicate with the human resource department of these farms, Japanese farms. I think this is quite important because young people don't understand how the actual job, because they are, before getting into the labor market, they have lack of information. They just look at the homepage of the company homepage and then get the information. But I frequently communicate with young people, my students. Definitely, like a direct communication with the farms will change their mindset. They'll change their mindset, and also human communication. Direct human communication definitely work well to make young people keep working in this farm. So that's why I think to answer your question, I think Japanese farm are willing to invest a lot of time to communicate with young people now through internship, because also like some Japanese farm they welcome even second year or first year university students for their internship. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Murata. And in relation to that answer, we have another question from our viewers named Nina Maria, and we guess she's from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thought about the increasing anxiety level among the youth student due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and how to engage them productively to cope with this situation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a good question. So also I'm still tackling with anxiety or fear or disappointment, disappointed feeling among the young people. But as I mentioned, I try to keep staying with them, like a coaching. I really important. It takes time and it's a huge investment. Human resource investment is needed. But I really believe that when I talk with young people, first they don't understand what they want to do. Like a first meeting with my student, they don't understand. Like, I don't know what I want to do in the future, but I keep talking with them. I'm like staying with them. Then actually they start. I don't make them to control. Definitely I don't do that. I won't make them to think by themselves. But information I will provide productive, like useful information, to them. Continue to keep pitching, continue to keep providing the information. But then they start, I think, in some time, I need to move. I need to. Then actually, many people feel worry actually about the labor market situation in Japan. Also, like maybe in other countries, also like many young people are really worrying about the future job their career. But I also provide the information. There is an industry to be growing even during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I think like a mindset. I want to make. I'm talking to the young people. You need to change the mindset. The situation is changing a lot. For example, tourism industry or airplane industry. In Japan now, in Narita Airport, there is no job vacancy, job vacancy or job post. There is no job post. So in the past, my student like who graduated from the university, my class, 2 years ago, he got a job at the Narita Airport. But now I cannot say so because there is no job there, job for young people. So that's why you need to understand the current situation. So that's I provide the latest labor market situation in Japan. Also in my class, I'm also teaching the development economics and the Japanese economy in my university at my university. I'm providing the latest information. Like if I finished the first semester last a few weeks ago, but I also update the information, latest information, explaining about the July's Japanese labor market situation. Then, based on that, they start thinking, okay, like based on that, they what can be the best or second best career in for young people. I think the information is also needed, like appropriate and also useful information is needed. So that's why I think this also, I don't know, information can be open to the public or like can be accessible for many young people. I think this kind of productive information, useful information can easen their worry. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer, Dr. Murata.
Thank you, Miss Maria from the Philippines. Thank you very much for your comment.
Yes, that's her question, and thank you for your response. And we have another question from Mr. Kunjung Masihat from Indonesia. He's asking you to explain a little bit more about the situation of skill mismatch in the labor market in Japan. And since we are still having a lot of questions, can you give a very brief answer to Mr. Kunjung, please?
Okay, Mr. Kunjung. Thank you very much, Mr. Kunjung from Indonesia. Thank you very much for your comment. Matching, I think. Okay, maybe I can explain. Because when we talk about the youth employment situation, like how to improve the quality, also issue on youth employment. Of course, always there is a mismatch is discussed, like mismatch between the young people and the employer, and also but this is quite. There are many factors, I think, because a mismatch can be generated from the academia as well. Because if the information or skill training or curriculum provided by the academia is outdated, there is definitely a mismatch between what young people acquired at the school and what industry needs. That's always like in many countries, of course, like in Indonesia, also like many Asian countries, there is communication, right? Like industry, what can be the industry needs and also what the university or like academia or young people need to acquire, what kind of skills is needed. So I think like definitely now the digital transformation can affect many firms. So today's presentation, I focus on such issues: electronic commerce, digital transformation. It's a game changer. Then I think like to avoid the mismatch or to increase the matching. I think based on my experience at academia, also like a 5-year experience at the university, where I'm supporting the many young people, I said definitely like work experience, actual work experience to providing the job internship. In the case of Japan, it's quite like widely spread, like this kind of opportunity, job internship opportunity has been spreading widely among many firms. So, and also easily they can apply to these job internship through the website. There is currently there is two or three company to manage these kind of big database. So that's nearly 100% of the young people use this kind of job hunting database as well as job internship database. I think this can help to increase the matching. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and I hope that is answer the question of Mr. Kunjung. You were talking about the disadvantaged youth, but in comparison with the adults. But among the youth themselves, there are a group of the youth which have fewer chance to achieve like education and societal position than the others. So, what is the good programs that in your experience, introduced by the government that can be helpful in reducing the educational divide among the youth and provide more chance for the disadvantaged youth?
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. So quickly, I will answer your question from. Definitely, like a government significantly support this kind of disadvantaged youth. For example, like the person with disabilities. Also, as I mentioned, like in the presentation, currently I have two students at the university who have disabilities. But I actually like this because this is my first experience to support these people, student with disabilities. Actually, like I currently because there is a huge support from the university staff as well as the government career. This one is. There is an employment service center, Hello Work. My university career advisor directly communicate, for example, in my university's case, my university career advisor directly communicate with Hello Work staff, government employment service center staff. This center will be located in each areas. Then, so first, like my university staff communicate with Hello Work in Chiba, but my student want to get the job in Tokyo area. So that's why then Hello Work also communicate. Hello Work in Chiba communicate with Hello Work in Tokyo area. Then currently Hello Work in Tokyo directly communicate with my student with disabilities. So actually, like, there is a different job hunting process compared to the young people without disabilities. So that's young people with disabilities have a different track to get a job. And also currently, these people with disability can tend to get a job in actually like famous and big Japanese firms, because Japanese famous and the big large firms, they have an obligation or a kind of obligation to to support this kind of disadvantaged youth. So that's like for kind of like a social activity, they are doing that. So that's why definitely there is a let's say good opportunity for people with disability are provided from the government and also from the large and famous Japanese firms. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Murata, for your answer. And this is we have a very short session of 1 hour only, and this is perhaps the last question to you. Among the APO members country, the economic development varies a lot. We have big groups of middle income countries or least developed countries, and in this country, the informal sectors is actually accounting for quite big portions of the economies. So the question is, what do you think will be the important factors to enhance the employability of the young people who are working in the informal sectors?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is quite, because this kind of informal sector is a structural issue. So that's why, because young people working in the informal sector in many developing economies, actually they have to earn money for their survival. I understand that. Also, I went to in many Asian countries. I also went to the slum areas for my research, so that I understand the situation. So for young people like working in the informal sector, their working condition is quite vulnerable, weak. So I think definitely like as I shown today, like job creation project. I think the important thing is the regular staff. Regular staff job creation is definitely important to to improve the situation in the long run. But I want to say like informal sector is functioning in developing economies. I understand that. However, in the long run, government official we need to work to increase more regular staff job opportunity. Otherwise, that kind of like informal sector situation might not change. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your message. So the government in the long run is still and always playing the leading roles in creating policy for job creations and engaging for the youth. So that is the message. And thank you so much for your insightful sharing today. And we also thank our viewers for joining the session. And we hope that within this 1 hour short session, you could get some of the insight on inclusive productivity and how to better leverage the future labor force of the youth, and as well as some of the practices of the Japanese government and academia that are in place. And we look forward to seeing you, all of you, in the future programs of the APO, the future APO productivity talks. And once again, thanks, Dr. Murata, for your sharing, for your time
Thank
today.
you very much indeed. Thank you very much for your support.
Please keep safe and stay tuned with the APO productivity talks. See you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.